My life imploded on a Tuesday, and by Wednesday, I was homeless. Funny how the universe picks the worst day to pile on. Right. Jake Thompson. That's me, 28 years old, standing in the rain with a duffel bag, staring at the eviction notice taped to what used to be our apartment door. 3 months ago, I was a mid-level marketing exec with a corner desk, a 401k, and a girlfriend who swore she'd love me forever. Now fired for budget cuts, and Sarah, my girlfriend of 4 years, decided forever meant until you're broke. She changed the locks while I was at the unemployment office. My stuff already boxed up like I was a tenant, not her partner. I stood there, soaked to the bone, reading her note. "You're not the man I thought you were. Good luck." The words stung worse than the rain. I'd given her everything: my time, my savings, my dreams of a house with a picket fence, and now I was nothing. No job, no home, no her. Just a guy with $47 in his account and a phone with 1 bar of signal. I scrolled through my contacts, each name a reminder of how few bridges I hadn't burned. Mom and Dad were gone, lost to a car accident 5 years back. Friends most drifted away when my life stopped being Instagram-worthy. There was only one name left: Lily, my little sister. The one person I hadn't spoken to in 2 years because I was too proud to admit I was struggling. I dialed her number, my hands shaking from the cold. "Jake." Her voice was soft but guarded, like she was bracing for bad news. "Lily, I need help." The words felt like swallowing glass. "I lost my job. Sarah kicked me out. I got nowhere to go." Silence stretched on the line, and I thought she'd hang up. Then, "Come to my place, 142 Oak Street. I'll leave the door unlocked." The bus ride to Lily's small house in the suburbs took an hour, each mile a reminder of how far I'd fallen. I'd always been the successful sibling fancy job, city apartment, while Lily lived quietly, teaching art to kids and scraping by. I used to tease her for it, calling her the dreamer while I chased promotions. Now, I was the one dreaming of a dry pair of socks. When I arrived, Lily was waiting in her tiny living room, her dark hair pulled into a messy bun, her eyes searching mine for the brother she used to know. She didn't hug me, just handed me a towel and a mug of coffee. "You look like hell," she said, her voice half teasing, half worried. "I feel like it," I muttered, sinking onto her couch. The house smelled of paint and lavender, a far cry from the sterile polish of my old apartment. I told her everything: the layoffs, Sarah's betrayal, the way my life unraveled like a cheap sweater. Lily listened, her face unreadable, until I finished. "I'm not here to mooch," I said quickly. "I just need a place to crash until I figure things out." Lily leaned back, crossing her arms. "Jake, you don't figure things out by crashing. You need a plan, and I might have one." She stood, grabbed a manila envelope from a cluttered desk, and slid it toward me. "Open it." I hesitated, expecting a self-help book or a job application. Instead, inside was a single sheet of paper, a letter, handwritten in crisp, deliberate strokes. It read, "Dear Jake, you've hit rock bottom, but that's where new paths begin. I'm offering you a chance to start over, but it's not what you expect. Meet me at the old community center on 5th Street tomorrow at 8 a.m. No excuses. Lily." I looked up, confused. "What is this, some kind of intervention?" Lily's eyes sparkled with something I couldn't place: hope. "Maybe, or mischief. It's an opportunity, but you have to show up to find out what it is." "Oh boy, Jake, you're in for a surprise." I didn't sleep much that night, my mind racing with questions. Was she setting me up for some low-paying gig, a pep talk, or worse, some artsy project I'd hate, but I had no other options? So the next morning, I dragged myself to the community center, a rundown building with peeling paint and a sign that read "Closed for renovations." Lily was waiting outside, her coat buttoned against the morning chill. "You came," she said, her smile cautious but warm. "What's this about?" "Lil," I asked, my voice rough from exhaustion. She led me inside where a group of people, maybe a dozen, all ages stood around easels, paint cans, and stacks of lumber. "Welcome to my project," Lily said, gesturing to the chaos. "We're turning this place into a community art hub, a place for kids, adults, anyone who needs a space to create, to heal. I want you to help run it." I laughed, a bitter sound. "Me, I'm not an artist. I'm a marketing guy with no job and no prospects. What do I know about this?" "You know about people," she said firmly. "You know how to sell ideas, how to make things happen. This place needs that. And frankly, Jake, you need this. You need something to believe in again." I wanted to argue, to tell her I wasn't cut out for this, but her words hit hard. I'd spent years chasing status, only to lose it all. Maybe this was my chance to build something real. The first week was chaos. I was out of my depth, coordinating volunteers, securing permits, and learning the difference between acrylics and oils. But the people, God, the people. There was Maria, a single mom who painted to cope with her son's illness, her brush strokes fierce and raw. There was Tim, a grizzled vet who sculpted clay like it was the only thing keeping him sane. And the kids rowdy, messy, but so alive, their laughter filling the empty spaces in my chest. Lily was everywhere, teaching classes, hauling supplies, her energy infectious. She'd always been the heart of our family, even when I was too busy to notice. Now she was saving me, one paint-splattered day at a time. But it wasn't all sunshine. Sarah showed up one afternoon, her heels clicking on the concrete floor. "Jake, we need to talk," she said. Her voice clipped, like she was doing me a favor. I wiped paint off my hands, my heart pounding. "What's there to talk about? You made your choice," she sighed, tossing her hair. "I didn't sign up for this," she said, gesturing to the cluttered room. "You were supposed to be successful, not this." Her words cut, but they didn't break me like they would have a month ago. "This," I said, "is me building something. You wouldn't get it." She left without another word, and for the first time, I felt free. Months passed, and the community center transformed. Murals covered the walls. Classes ran daily, and we even got a grant to expand. I wasn't just managing, I was creating, connecting, living. I found an apartment, small but mine, and started saving again. But more than that, I found purpose. One night, after a long day, Lily and I sat on the center steps, sharing a pizza. "You didn't just give me a job," I told her. "You gave me a reason to keep going." She smiled, nudging my shoulder. "You always had it in you, Jake. You just needed a push." The center's grand opening was a blur of music, laughter, and paint-covered kids. I stood in the crowd, watching people I'd come to care about celebrate something we'd built together. For the first time in years, I felt like I belonged. But the story doesn't end there. Life's messy, and so is redemption. Was I right to dive into this new path, or was I running from my old one? Was Sarah wrong to leave? Or was she just being honest? I don't have all the answers. And maybe you don't either. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, what's right, what's fair, and what it means to start over when the world's kicked you down. Share your take, because stories like this don't end, they spark new ones.